And let's not forget that you had this document, and here I'm going to connect some more dots. You had the document was passed off to McCain, and it was just kind of floating there. And a lot of people forget that a lot of news agencies, they passed on this document before. They knew
Yeah,
about this. McCain
absolutely.
was floating it around everywhere. He hated Trump. He was a big anti-Trumper. Of course, McCain was considered to be the de facto president of the deep state. That was his kind of position in the U.S. government for God knows how
Yeah.
many years. And he was, passing this document around. Many news agencies, they didn't want to touch it because they knew it was complete crap. BuzzFeed picked up on it. But we also forget that it wasn't it the shrewdness of Robbie Mook and John Podesta and these guys that kind of saw this dossier, connected the fact that they were such idiots. I mean, those guys were complete fools. That one, they lost the election for Hillary Clinton. Number two, they had all their systems, hacked, or God knows what happened to their stuff. I mean, Podesta's password was password on his iPhone for his email. So I mean, these guys were idiots, but they managed to somehow connect the dossier with the hacking, and then they pushed that narrative. 17 intelligence agencies said Russia meddled the election. Here's the dossier, and they put those two things together, and here you go.
Yes, I mean they couldn't have done it without active collusion, and I use that word carefully. Active collusion on the part of some people in the CIA and the FBI, and it turns out in the Justice Department, who were clearly looking for ways to help Hillary Clinton and to stop Donald Trump. Because if there'd been a proper investigation of these claims, if Christopher Steele had been called in and questioned properly and thoroughly, this whole thing would have collapsed very, very quickly. And it is important to stress that Christopher Steele wasn't just inactive. He wasn't just active in compiling this dossier. He was also, at Glenn Simpson's instigation, speaking to the media all the time. And the FBI, when they found out about that, they went through the motions of sacking him as an informer. Their rules require. What they actually did was they set up this back channel to him through Bruce Orr in the Justice Department, so that he was able to continue to feed them with information. So one mustn't just say that these people, just that it was just a Podesta and Mook and all the others. It was actually people within the US government who were playing an active role in spreading this story and in spreading this information and giving credence to it. And if you remember, if you go back to late 2016, that was the time when we had having all that inundation of leaks to the media, which were all clearly being used to destabilize Donald Trump, especially in advance of his inauguration, by amplifying allegations, many of which were very obviously derived from this dossier.
No, let's not forget. I mean, okay, you have Mook and Podesta were getting orders from Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, who are essentially the U.S. government. I mean, they're the ones. God knows how many people they have under them that they're controlling. Of course, you have the Clinton Loretta Lynch tarmac meeting, and there's many people now that are signaling that Obama was very well in the know as to what was going on completely from start to finish. And he greenlit a lot of this stuff to get passed on. The leaks, the dossier, the intelligence agencies, monitoring Carter Page, all these people, Obama was also in the know. So, I mean,
Yes.
I think there was a very large upper echelon to the top of the U.S. government that knew exactly what was happening.
Of course they did. I mean, the key event for me, the thing that brought it all together, and which people have not looked into in enough detail, is that in August, heating up, we're moving towards November when the voting actually happens. In August 2016, we know that US intelligence, that's Clapper and Brennan and presumably the FBI consulted with Obama and provided him with a detailed report about what they said. This is the official story. They officially informed him about Russian interference, and it is extremely likely. And I'm not saying just. I think it is a certainty that some of that information consisted of the dossier, or at least those parts of the dossier that Christopher filing that had at that point been written. So Obama was absolutely in the know. He knew exactly what was going on, but we really need to get to the bottom of what happened in that critical meeting in August 2016. And if there's ever going to be a proper investigation of this, that is one of the key events in this whole story that really needs to be looked into and examined properly.
All right, and none of this was lost on Trump. I'm going to read you 2 Trump tweets, and you can close it out with commentary on those Trump tweets. Report: Christopher Steele backed up his Democrat and crooked Hillary paid for fake and unverified dossier with information he got from send-in watchers of low ratings CNN. This is the info that got us the witch hunt. So it was indeed just proven in court papers, last in his class, Annapolis, John McCain, that sent the fake dossier to the FBI and media, hoping to have it printed before the election. He and the Dems, working together, failed as usual. Even the fake news refused this garbage. So there you have it. Trump is connecting Christopher Steele, the Democrats, CNN, and John McCain, all in 2 tweets. What do you make of it?
Well, he's joining the dots just as you did before, and I'm sure he's right. I've no doubt about it. I mean, and the role of John McCain in all of this is something that we really do need to look into much more, because clearly he was playing a very active role behind the scenes in trying to stop Donald Trump, and of course he continued to do so. He continued to oppose Donald Trump in the Senate right up until his final illness, and when he was no longer able to do so anymore. So Donald Trump is joining the dots. I'm sure, I have absolutely no doubt, he is right. But we need a proper investigation to join the dots formally, to get a proper understanding of what was going on and to see what, if any, crimes were being committed during this period. Because I find it very difficult to believe that all this activity did not involve some kind of criminal, some criminal offences. Now, I'm going to just make one observation here where I think Donald Trump may have gone slightly wrong, and I think a lot of people are. I don't think it mattered very much that the Trump dossier, this dossier, was not published before the election. It's important to stress that many of the more sensational and circumstantial claims were written into the dossier after the election. The fact of the matter is the dossier was used before the election by the media to spread the story that there was collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians. And the fact that it appeared to be coming from different sources, because that was the impression the media was giving, rather than from this absurd document, I think may have given it even more credence than it would have done if the dossier itself, with all its fantastic claims, had actually been published. So I think that the dossier was more useful to the Democrats, kept secret, than it was if it had been published. If it had been published, its absurdity would have been obvious to many people, and I doubt it would have survived the scrutiny of a presidential election campaign.
All right. Alexander McCurry, Senator-in-Chief of the Duran, thank you very much. Guys, if you like this video, click on the subscribe button down below and click on that notifications bell to get notifications every time we push out a new video. Visit the Duran shop, pick up a t-shirt, help support the Duran. In the description box down below, you'll find links to our PayPal and Patreon pages. Please donate to the Duran. That really helps us out a lot. And remember, you can get a copy of this video in audio format. Follow us on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. And don't forget to go to theduran.com and see all the articles that Alexander is looking up to every day. Alexander McCurry, Editor-in-Chief of the Durand, thank you once again. Until next time, everybody, take care.